Hello, everyone, and thank you, Pastor Tom, for giving us the opportunity to share our thoughts during the devotions. The other day, I was watching the famous movie by Franco Zeffirelli called Jesus of Nazareth. This beautiful film came out when I was 10 years old, and it was the very first time I saw the story of Jesus in a movie. I remember very clearly that as a young girl, I was completely struck by the figure of Jesus, completely entranced by his words and his charisma. And this experience affected me a lot later in the years. When I was watching it again with Filippo the other night, we came across the scene where Jesus teaches something that I found extremely fitting for the times we're living right now. This passage is very famous and is from Matthew 6th chapter. Look at the birds in the sky. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to our life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his glory was dressed like one of them. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, excuse me, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Now, I am an anxious person. I worry very easily and very much. The situation we're in right now, with our health at risk, my parents alone in Italy, my husband being a massage therapist, not being able to work, all this is a very fertile soil for my tendencies to worry. That's why listening to those very precise words of Jesus, right now, of all times, shook me to the core, because it put me blatantly in front of my lack of trust and my lack of faith in God. Jesus says, your heavenly Father knows what you need. And also, aren't you more important than the birds in the sky or the grass in the field? Of course we are, and I know that. And yet I worry. I can't help it. But why do I worry so much? Maybe because I see how this society works. I see what happens when people lose their jobs. They start losing everything. Health insurance, house, food, shelter, and ultimately rights and freedom. And who is not afraid of losing their freedom? It happens all the time. It's in front of everybody's eyes. So it's easy to ask, where is God in those situations? Why does he not provide what is needed? But then further ahead, Jesus says, seek first God's kingdom and his righteousness, and everything else will be given to you as well. So maybe that is the key. Seek God's kingdom first. And the word first means before everything else, even before worrying, even before thinking. Maybe our thoughts are limited, short-sighted, and only through God's grace we can access another much deeper perspective, the true perspective. Maybe when I worry is because I have stopped believing in God's responsiveness, in God's love, and I have stopped even asking for his grace. I have stopped seeking the connection with the Heavenly Father, and that's why I feel so alone and powerless and scared and out of resources. this pandemic maybe came to teach me and all of us that when we feel so scared, we need to ask deeper, to seek deeper, ask more strongly, and maybe go back on to what's truly important for our life and recheck the order of priorities. As much as we're concerned for our material needs, let's not forget that by worrying, we cannot add a single minute to our life. And in the end, more precious than the treasures of our chests or bodies are the treasures of our heart. So this is my prayer today. God, please help us change this poison into medicine. Enlighten us with your grace. Allow us to feel your love and give us the peace of our heart and our mind. Amen. Thank you.